let's do this again. Take 2. This is take 2. Hi folks, I'm Storm331. This game is being Joe Mac for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's going to be submitted for Summer Games Done Quick as one of my submissions. And this game plays way differently than the other versions because this has more of a world map feature where you go to stages and you fight your way all the way to the end of the game to rescue the cave babes from the Neanderthals. And we're going to be playing this on easy difficulty because, unfortunately, normal and hard makes it very difficult to get through. Now, we do have our shoot and jumps for all 4 of our buttons. Y next for shoot, B and A for jump. Now, what the game doesn't show us is that the L and R buttons can be used for run buttons. So that's going to improve our running speed pretty much. And we're also going to be doing roll attacks that'll also give us some invincibility in addition to attacking enemies at the same time. So basically, we want to get this out of the way, and I'll do the best I can to be entertaining and safe, as well as doing commentary. So here we go. We'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, it's time to rescue the cave babes. So we're going to be starting this area off holding here, and then once we get to our first Neanderthal, we're going to roll right past him, jump over him, and then... Ooh, well, I almost got through there flawlessly. But technically, we're not going to be fighting as much enemies right here. Now, we got to do another somersault jump the moment that we jump on there, because what happens is that if we're not fast enough, we're going to miss the... we're unfortunately going to miss getting on that pterodactyl, which is bad news. Dang, pretty bad. Alright, not exactly the best output, but hey, mistakes happen in a run. Now, we got the Tyrannosauruses. There's a grand total of 3 that we have to deal with. It usually takes up to about at least 2 minutes before you can, 2 seconds before you can attack the bosses in this game. And that's because each one of them take a certain amount of hits to bring down each of the life meters. Now we're going to be positioning right here so that we can defeat the Tyranno before he comes back over here again, and we managed to defeat the first boss of the game, and more importantly, get the first cave babe rescued. So we're moving on to the next stage. And we have to be pretty fast or pretty accurate. Because this one right here is going to probably cause us big deal problems. Ooh, we got boomerangs, but that wasn't what we were looking for. Unfortunately, we were trying to go for the stone wheel. That would have been very nice, having access to one of the two powerful weapons in the entire game. Luckily, we do have fire, which is probably our next best weapon. They both do the same amount of damage. The downside is that you're stuck throwing one of them at a time, which is very unfortunate in this case. So we are going to try to break open some more eggs and hopefully get stone wheels when we get to that point. So we're going to roll past Seymour, or the giant Venus player right here. Get behind him, wait a few minutes, attack, and we keep rinse and repeat until he goes down. Now, when he gets down to the final life bar, he requires 2 hits. So, ooh, we got a perfect position. Let's go. Alright, stage 2 is cleared, and now we're going to move on to stage 3. So, stage 3 is going to be a nasty climb up the tree. We got pterodactyls to start things off. But they're not the real issue, it's these bees. We'll take some damage boosting. Unfortunately, the Neanderthals just intercepted me, so it's not a very easy climb. Don't expect me to get the 1 cycle, unfortunately. And I do not know what happened there. That should not have happened. Yeah, unfortunately, my club wound up hitting him, so... unfortunately, when that happens, this unfortunately becomes a problem. It is possible for most people to 1cc get through this boss pretty quickly with 1 cycle, but sadly I just started like several months ago since last year, so unfortunately it's not exactly picture perfect. So we got bones. Actually, they're actually going to be pretty good coming up in the final area of the game with the last Tyrannosaurus. So unfortunately, the piranhas tend to pop up near the middle. So we do not want to get ourselves caught when they jump. And we're playing a little bit safer than I would normally play this because, unfortunately, things go pretty dang wrong when we get to these parts. So, since this is an auto-scroller, this would be a very good time for donations. Ouch, we got hit by that piranha, not cool. Now all we have to do is just get past these Neanderthals. Not so hard to deal with, and sometimes they will drop meat for us to refill our health. Now we do not want to be triggering the bonus stages if possible. Okay, that's a first. Ouch. Luckily we're getting close to the end. But yeah, this would be a perfect area to do donations. Of course, if I had commentary, they'd be taking over and doing more discussing right here. So yeah, these Dilophosaurus are the bosses for this area. Now we do not want to be trigger hitting them with a club. Right now, we want to make sure that they don't get hit by the club, because that only deals 1 damage, and we do not want them, Woo! Not bad. We got that underneath 6 minutes, at least. Very well done. Applause, please. Clap, clap, clap. Alright, we're past this area, and now we're on our way through the waterfalls. So, the waterfalls are pretty simple. It's another auto-scroller, so this would be a perfect time for donations. And basically we're going to be trying to prevent any rocks from hitting our character if we can. So Joe and Mac both fight pretty similar. Of course, once we start getting close to being done, we want to be at the top of the screen so that the pterodactyl goes and we go straight into fighting the boss. So coming up, we got this guy right here. Alright, not bad. Technically this would be a lot faster if he was sinking into the water, but we'll take it for now. Ooh, almost forgot to move him back into place there. Alright, so we got through that boss, now we're into the ice caverns. This is where the game's difficulty will start picking up, obviously. But we gotta pick up the stone wheels because we cannot get through this with the fire throughout the whole game, unfortunately. Of course, the chances of getting stone wheel are pretty low. Ooh, we got a 1-up, that's cool. Not what we're looking for, though. Yeah, we're gonna ignore this whole part right here. And we managed to get onto these rocks with a normal jump. Now, you can actually climb some of these walls with the roll attack, believe it or not. These guys pass. And sadly, I do not know what happened to the 1-up there. Now, unfortunately, if we had the stone wheels, we would get right behind the woolly mammoth when this fight starts. But unfortunately, we cannot do that, unfortunately. So unfortunately, with the fire, this makes it a lot more harder to hit the woolly mammoth. And our spacing is going to be pretty difficult to do it over. But believe it or not, if he makes the mistake of walking right into the flames, he can get hit from there. And of course, the more damage he takes, that also means he will lose his trunk and tusk trunk, just about everything else. Unfortunately, he's taking a little bit more longer than I would normally fight this guy with. So good news is we can now get in a position where we can do this, and we got through that. Not perfect, but it has to be done. Plus, it's a little bit more safer in general. Alright, so we got another cliffside battle. We'll probably be taking our first death coming up. So do not be surprised if that happens. It just happens. So even in a marathon setting, unintentional deaths can happen, but we do try to plan some intentional deaths in the meantime. So we got another Pteranodon / Pterodactyl fight. Definitely takes a little bit more longer to come in, unlike his green cousin here. So of course we do not want to try to hit him with the club if we can. Looks like he turned around. Alright, not bad. Not bad. I can't believe we actually got through that with 2 hits remaining. Alright, so we got through the cliffside battle. And now we're moving on to the lava areas. So this is where things will be picking up pretty much. So we got another chance for a stone wheel here if we can. Nope. So if we don't get a stone wheel before we get to the final stage, one will be provided for us, thankfully. Unfortunately, you cannot roll up on the walls, which, unfortunately, that costs us a bit of time. No. We got our health back a bit. Yeah, we're gonna ignore these guys. Yeah, unfortunately, there goes our first death of the game, but that's fine. We were about ready to... we would probably have to take a death at some point anyway. Ooh, we rolled back and got our life back. Go away, Dino. Alright, we made it to... we're gonna get ready for our next T-Rex battle. The gray one will either move his head up or forward, and technically we do not want him going downwards, because sometimes he'll spit out rocks at us when he goes down. And that's bad news, because we do not want him firing rocks at us down there. Which is very bad form in general. Yeah, I borrowed a phrase from Hook. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be taking on the Black Tyranno. Like his cousin earlier on the first stage, he takes 4 hits before he loses a single unit of health. So technically we want him to be moving forward rather than going down. Alright. I wanted to make sure if he was either moving up or forward. I mean down or forward. So yeah, you do not want him going down if possible, because he will spit the rocks if you're still in position. Okay, so he's basically starting to change up his methods of attack now. And unfortunately, when he does that, that gets really problematic. Unfortunately, hitting his neck will not do anything. Alright, doing some squats. Because Joe needs to do his leg work. Alright, nice. Now we got the cave baby rescued. We're on our way to the next lava stage field. The second and last one we need to do. Alright, so basically we're going to get past this area. This would be a good time for donations. We're going to get past the T-Rexes right there. They are a good source for picking up some additional health. Unfortunately, we got hit by those rolling Neanderthals. It's very hard to get past them. Okay, I was holding Eleanor. I don't know what happened there. We're going to ignore those because those have pterodactyls. We don't want to be dealing with those. Ah, not mean to drop there. That was my bad. Alright, we did take some damage, but we're still a good pace. So, Ankylosaurus is going to be rolling up pretty much throughout the entire fight. So, This would be another good place to do donations in general. So we're going to position our character right here and see what he does when he comes dropping down like this. Ooh, we got one of the better patterns. So when he goes for that, that actually means he'll unroll easily from there. But that won't be always all the case. All the time, that is. So we're waiting for him to drop down again. Let's see where he goes. He went, right? Okay, so he's gonna probably be right over here where my character is. But luckily he put himself up there, so that means we didn't have to wait that very long. Alright, so we get another easy pattern open. So thankfully our boss is playing nice with us today. And we can drop down platforms with down B or A. So we're gonna wait for him to come back to the middle. Unfortunately, this fight takes forever sometimes. There's not much you can do about it, unfortunately. So anyway, he'll pop back up like here, and then we gotta get 2 more hits to get the final life point taken out of him. Alright, so he'll be right up here, if memory serves me correct. But of course, he'll be bouncing around for the final one, obviously. Man, he's taking forever just to get out of there. Oh well, we did beat him, but it is easy to get a more faster time with the Ankylosaurus, but it's just not all the time, which is very regrettable. It's actually one of the more easier bosses. Now we're coming up to the graveyard here, where dinos go to perish, obviously. Unfortunately, we gotta deal with these lightning bolts, and sometimes you can outrun them, and then there's just times where you cannot. So we're gonna ignore the Neanderthals and just try to move ahead. Alright. So we'll do a donation right there. It's pretty easy to get past this area. Not that difficult. We got plenty of life, so we don't have to worry about this upcoming boss. So this is actually a fossilized Tyrannosaurus. Ooh, we got a free hit. Ooh, that's not good. So we're using the roll attack to protect ourselves from getting hit by the fallen bones. That's very regrettable. Unfortunately, I cannot make the skull head move in the optimal setting, but that also works too, you know. So basically, you want to count up to 5 to when he goes for that, obviously. No, he was definitely going after me there. Yeah, and sometimes I'll just do that, which is very unfortunate. And that KOs the boss there. As they say in Mortal Kombat, flawless victory! Alright. Moving on to the pre-ultimate stage. Even though this is technically the last one we get to do. Since we didn't get any stone wheels, we can now finally get some. About time, and unfortunately we didn't get hit by lightning. We're going to reload on some health real quick, just to be on the safe side. So stone wheels are actually the strongest weapon, best weapon in the entire game. You can throw 2 of them as opposed to fires. Darn it. That was very unfortunate. Oh man, that is very, very terrible, unfortunately. Unfortunately, mistakes like that do happen. There's something that can be done, and but if I was to redo it again, I would probably try to aim for better. So my apologies ahead of time. Hopefully we won't take any more deaths after that. But then again, it's very hard to get through that area. Plus, I haven't played this in quite a while due to other speedrun projects and other things. So we got the red Tyranno, which is the last of the 3 Tyrannos we need to deal with. We're switching to bone because it doesn't really matter as to which weapon we use against it. It deals 1 damage to any attack that we deal with it, whether it be weapons or club or roll attack. So basically, we're going to be using the bones for the rest of the fight here, and then switch back to the stone wheels once we're done. I call this guy. I do have another name for him, but I won't say it on stream or for the submission purposes. But it's not inappropriate, but I'm a little bit worried it might go the wrong way. But for right now, we'll just call him Red Tyranno. Just to be on the safe side. Unfortunately, I did not get a hit there. Alright, so there isn't much to be said about Red Tyranno. You do have a small area, but you gotta be ducking to avoid it. Sometimes he'll reach down there and try to hit us. In addition to spinning rocks and Neanderthals. And he pretty much has a more longer cooldown time before we can strike him again. Probably anywhere between 3 to 4 minutes in general. Or seconds, I should say. I keep making this screw up about 3 to 4 minutes when it should be 3 to 4 seconds. Alright, so Red Tyranno's getting close to being defeated. Like I said, this would be a good time for donations. And my commentary could probably pick up on this if they were here to support me. Of course, that's going to be one of the bigger problems, is getting a commentary together for this game, if by some miracle this gets in. I should definitely take it with a grain of salt that this is pretty much not going to be accepted. There's definitely a lot more better people capable of doing this. Alright, so we're going inside the Tyranno. We're going to destroy this, take out this Neanderthal. Play it a little bit safe and get more our health back up to speed, so we can get through this pretty quickly. Now we're going to do a roll attack to get past these Neanderthals dropping down. Then we're going to be throwing 2 wheels, basically to get rid of those 2 there. Now we're going to jump over these, and then we got some more Neanderthals coming in through rolling. I'm cool with taking some damage, but we got plenty of health going into the fight with the final boss. But of course we got some Seymours to deal with. There's our exclusive boss for this version, the Red/Blue Devil. So he's going to make us fight these Seymour heads first before we can take them on. So each one of them takes 3 hits, of course. So the first time we fight the first 2, we need to rearrange our position. So we should be safe on the right-hand side for the most part. So we'll let the first one jump, then start attacking these guys once the second one starts moving about. Alright, so get ready to attack again. Rinse, repeat. And of course, if my commentators, they'd be doing some commentating right now. Which unfortunately I do not have the luxury of doing that, unfortunately. Alright, so the Red Devil is pretty easy to deal with. Get our first hit, we'll wait a few seconds. Now, that was bad of me. I meant to throw both of those in the opposite direction. Usually when he goes for that, you can definitely, Alright, this is turning into a bad nightmare in general. Get rid of the fake. Obviously, the Red Devil's not playing nice today, obviously. Whew, that was close. Didn't expect that. I'll read that in a moment. Thank you for stopping by. Hope your day's been well. And this is pretty much what the Red Devil does most of the time. Assuming if you're more lucky with your shots than I am here. Alright, we got through. Ah, Mega Retro Man, hey, welcome! Hope your submission videos went well. Alright, back to the commentary. The Red Devil is not defeated. We gotta take him on as the Blue Devil. So one thing to keep in mind about fighting the Blue Devil is that he has 6 areas where he's going to teleport. Technically, we want him to be in the middle most of the time, so we gotta make sure we're not standing in the middle when we start fighting. So technically, it's no point of attacking him when he's in the process of teleporting, especially when you kick things off. All right, we're gonna jump over that. Get a free hit while that happens. All right. He's gonna teleport again. Where's he gonna be? Ooh, we got a free hit at least. Okay, hopefully that was not, I hope that was not my club that hit him there. Alright, so we're gonna position ourselves. Let's see where he's gonna be. Darn it. I meant to hit him, and he wound up teleporting before I could do that. Yeah, you do not want to be standing in the middle when he goes for the teleports. Yeah, I don't want to be throwing my wheels like crazy. Sometimes he'll just, like, teleport right near you. So time's going to be once the final hit on Blue Devil occurs. And that's time, of course. That would probably be 2540 in general. But we have 2541. Yeah. I'm not really close to the computer, so you'll have to forgive me for the timer mishap. Of course, thank you for the GG's, Mega Retro Man. Hope your day's been well, by the way. Whew. Yeah, that sets up the first submission video. Definitely not a perfect one. We did have like 2 unintentional deaths on the pre-element stage. We did also have some issues with some areas, but I'll go ahead and submit that. I mean, the commentary and entertainment probably won't be as great for Games Done Quick standards, but I'm going to showcase what I can do, just so that everyone knows what I'm capable of. I mean, just because I don't talk a whole lot on stream, that doesn't mean I want to display my talents. In fact, that's probably one of the real reasons why I even submit for these GDQs, because I want people to see what I can do, even when it's not at my best level. Whew! We're gonna take 5 for a bit, and then we'll probably do Ninja Saviors next.